I have one more thing to say. I was told by Kyle Levitz in Head when he was around that he was laughing when I walked up because he saw that I was Katrina driving there in my dashboard. However, I don't even know where the camera is. I'm guessing it's in my dashboard. It's the only thing. I know it's also in like spills and things like that all over my ceiling and dirt, whatever. But I feel like I talked to it as if it's in my dashboard. So he saw that I was Katrina when I was driving there. And he said, when you walked in, I was laughing because I knew that you were the right one, that I had the right one. In person, my real face. Because I actually went on the date. And so he said, I had that smile on my face. I was laughing because you were the right one. You were the one that was supposed to be there. I wanted you there. And maybe it was so he could go home and fuck me and get it all on video that he went on a date with me and then met up with Katrina as me in Photoshop and went and fucked her. And so he had the full reel. Me with the fucking on a first date. I guarantee that's what it was. So I had to get that out there too, because you did admit that you knew I was, not that I was the right one for you, which is what you claimed at the time, but the right one to finish your reel. So you would win this shit. But I certainly did not go home with you that night. And I guarantee Katrina didn't wear the same outfit I wore. That's my first date outfit, and she didn't have it on. And that's my, I'll throw some shit on me for beer and see if you're worthy enough for a next date. I'll give you 50 minutes, and that's what it was. It was not because I was, and they probably laughed at me about it, that I was like, that's really nice. But that's what it is he knew Katrina was driving up. I, in person, walked in on the date, so he had that footage. And then had Katrina right after. He probably left with Katrina or met her. It said in my head. Zoe and Liv were there with me. Kyle Levitz in my head. And I know nobody was supposed to be there, but they were there, and they said they were making faces at you in my face the whole time. But I don't know if that's true. They did tell me that when you asked me if I listened to TED Talks, that they popped off with no. No. And I'm interested in them. I can't settle my brain down enough currently because there's too much going on. I can't focus fully. But I have watched TED Talks and I am interested in them. But they said no. And then I was like, in my head, I was like, fuck, why did I say no? Why did I say no? I do listen to TED Talks. Why did I say no? And the girls played it. But they said no because they didn't like what you were doing in your head to my head, is what they told me. They didn't like it. So they weeded you out for me. They didn't want me talking to you. They didn't want me interesting to you. They wanted me to look stupid as fuck. And so they played you pretty hard in my head that night because they didn't appreciate what the fuck you were doing at all. Zoe and Liv at like 6 and 8 did that for me because it was in like 2017. So they actually did that for me, and, but that's what it is. Again, that's what they're doing. They think they won this shit because they have a full reel of a date with me going to fuck on the first date, and it just doesn't happen. But they feel like they're the winners. That's why they're bugging me so much. It's it. It's totally what it is, but it didn't happen in the slightest bit. She was just trying to make me look like a slut, and he was excited that he got to help her, and it just didn't happen. And going home with somebody on the first date is not a bad thing. I'm not mad at it. It's not something I really do, because first of all, I can't find anybody interesting, and second of all, if you like somebody, you don't want to bang them right away. Because then you give them everything right away, and you like the innocent build-up, the innocent dates, and the excitement that's innocent, and that's my favorite part of dating, is the excitement and the not doesn't get all heavy in the feelings right away. If you keep it light at first, then you don't get hurt when they choose to go away real fast. And they do fuck you and leave. They do. And so doing it this way, it not only weeds them out, it keeps that innocence to it without having feelings on a level that you're not there in respect and trust and stuff yet for each other. So it keeps, you can't have strong, because if I sleep with somebody, I have emotions for them. I actually do. Except for, since Joe, I haven't. I had sex 3 times, 2 guys. And I didn't have any emotions with them, but I went into it. One, I went into it that I just didn't want my ex to be my last person I banged. And the other one, I got followed home from a bar, and I was nervous about it. And I banged and I snuggled, and that was the only reason why I asked him back the second night, was the surveillance techniques, because he was a CIA agent slash helicopter medic slash survivalist slash SWAT slash fireman. And I had made a joke that I needed somebody like that in my life because I was in danger. And so I gave it a shot. But I didn't have feelings for him. I didn't want to have sex with him either night. I could have went the second night without sex, but just, it was 5 minutes and I was bored out of my mind and needed it to end sooner than later. But it did. It was nothing big. It was, for me, it was nothing big. I'd already had sex with him once, might as well have it again. But I enjoyed the snuggles. That's what I was interested in more than anything, was just having a body there that I could snuggle next to. And so those are the explanations.